For Jeremy Corbyn, there are no longer any limits to his ambitions. Even the remotest corners of our islands are in his sights. The Western Isles, SNP majority of 1,000, is one of 60 seats he needs to win to cross the threshold of number 10, whenever the election comes. And Labour believe it could be sooner rather than later, and so here their leader is, campaigning at a Harris Tweed factory in Lewis and in the rest of Scotland in days to come. And coincidentally, this constituency isn't just important to this leader. Donald Trump's mother hails from Stornoway.
I'm very keen to get a Harris Tweed jacket.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, if you got one.
I mean, if you get one, I'll get one. If you were Prime Minister, you wouldn't want a state visit from Donald Trump, that's right, isn't it?
Listen, I don't think a state visit is a priority.
Some people have said this week that President Trump is a white supremacist. Do you think he might be a white supremacist?
Well, I think the remarks he made about Charlottesville are awful, and he should not have made them, and I think we should just condemn the whole idea that white supremacists and the Ku Klux Klan and fascists turn up in Charlottesville.
But do you think...
I'm not going to go into labelling people. What I'm saying is those remarks were wrong.
Reading the runes, this equivocation tells us how far both politics and the Labour leader have travelled. Jeremy Corbyn is someone who ran for Labour leader as a politician whose views were set in stone, who always said what he thinks. But would the Jeremy Corbyn of 2015 have not condemned Donald Trump unreservedly, would have called him a white supremacist, would have said that as Prime Minister he wouldn't want him to come to Britain on a state visit? I think he would probably have done all three. And the fact that he didn't, that the Corbyn of 2017 doesn't say these things, tells you something. It tells you that he's thinking for the first time like a politician, like a Prime Minister in waiting.
I'm really struck by our conversation earlier and our conversation now. Sometimes I feel you answer very straightforwardly, as always, but nonetheless, there's perhaps some that might think a bit more equivocation than there might have been in the Jeremy Corbyn of old, perhaps because you know now that you may well be Prime Minister. These are things you're going to have to confront. Do you think you've changed at all over the last 2 years?
I really admire your powers of psychiatry.
Well,
so they're quite wonderful.
Lewis Sigmund Goodall, they call him.
Lewis Sigmund Goodall, you're doing really well. I tell you this, I love leading the Labour Party. I'm proud of what we put forward in the election, and I'm very proud that Labour is going to win the election so we can bring about real social justice for all across the UK.
But if he is more mealy-mouthed than before, the party faithful don't mind a bit. He's of the left, one of their own. They trust him. Jeremy Corbyn can almost smell power, and perhaps for the first time in his life, he likes its scent. Lewis Goodall, Sky News, Stornoway.